Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anika Uche. I'm just a girl trying to figure it out. So let's get into it. I think social media is at its peak or is near the peak right now. I think right, typically you can't tell if something is at its peak until like after the fact, so retrospectively. But for me, I feel like obviously from my perspective, what my thoughts, my opinions, right? Social media is really hot right now. Content creation is really hot right now. Things have changed and people or content creators, I guess I say we because I'm now part of them. People have had to adapt as new apps have rolled out, new features have rolled out, all the things, right? But I feel like social media content creation is very, very hot right now still in 2025 at the time of filming this, which is February 2025. So for me, it's always been something that I've wanted to do. Ever since like 2020, I've wanted to like start creating content online. And you can see that in some of my old videos. But what I wanted to talk about today is that I think social media is, if not at its peak, then near its peak. And I say all of that with like a grain of salt because I'm not like no social media expert or whatever. This is just my thoughts and opinions. Don't shoot me. Obviously, I think social media is going to continue to evolve as new apps come out, as new features roll out, all the things, right? But for me, like, again, my opinion on this matter is that like I feel like right now is the best time to start content creation for me. And that's what I've been doing. But also, like, I also think of the kind of fear mongering aspect of, okay, what if I don't do this? Like, will I look back in the next 10, 15 years? I'm sure social media will evolve and there will be the next big thing. But I don't want to look back and say, dang, you missed out on your opportunity, or why didn't you act on those dreams, those aspirations that you had back then when social media was at its peak, and that was a time where you felt like was the best time for you to start. Again, I'm just speaking on myself. So a little bit of that fear mongering also like made me get up and just start filming, because obviously, like, I want to take action. I want to do the things that have been put on my heart, put on my spirit to do. But also, I don't want to regret anything in life. And I haven't had any regrets up till this day. I think everything you learn from. But I don't want this to be a learning experience when I look down the line in the next 10, 15 years. And yes, I've started and I'm going to continue being consistent on here and all my other platforms. But also, more than wanting to do it for myself, since becoming a mother, like, you obviously have this little human that you're now responsible for. Since becoming a mother, taking on the perspective of, okay, how will my son see me? Obviously going to instill in him, you can do all the things. You can be the person that you want to be. But in me saying that to him, I don't want him to look at me and say, okay, mommy, like, you've told me you had all these dreams and goals and aspirations when you were younger. Why didn't you do them? Or where is the fruits of all of those ideas that you've told me about? And I think that is like, that's a driving factor for me now. Like, I think wanting to do it for myself, but also wanting to do it for my son so that he looks to me as a role model. Like, obviously, I think all parents aspire to be role models to their children, but for me, it's like even bigger than that. Like, I see the life. I have a vision of the type of life that I want for myself outside of my family. And I think that's okay. Like, you can still have dreams and goals for yourself that is not tied to your family, but obviously you're part of a family unit. But what I mean by that is, like, I had dreams and goals before I had a family, before I became a mother, and those dreams and goals still exist. Now it just obviously looks a little bit different because you have to think about, or I think about, my family first now. So everything is now in the context of how do I make this step, but how does it also align with my family goals? That's what I mean by that. So, more than wanting to do it for myself, I want to do it for my son. I want him to look at me and be proud of me, because I've never been one to shy away from, you know, saying that I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm sharing this with the world. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I've shared that with my husband. I've shared that with my immediate family. I've shared that with my friends. I'm obviously going to share that part of myself with my son, with my children. So for me, right, like, I think that social media is its hottest right now. Maybe it's not at its peak. Only time will tell, but I think it's very hot right now. And for me, this is the best time to start creating content. So I just want to take advantage of this opportunity. And if you're watching this, let this be your encouragement also. If that has been a goal for yourself, right? Take advantage of social media. Don't let your future self down. And in that same light, right, I don't want to let my son down. I don't want to let my family down. So I feel that social media is hot right now. Content creation is hot right now. Don't say there's too many content creators. Don't say there's too many people doing it, because what's for you is always going to be for you. And that's on period. I have never, even in all the things that I've done, I never look at the competition. I never look at, right, and you can, depending on how you view it, I never look at like who else is doing the thing that I want to do, or the idea, or whatever God has given me as an idea, as a business idea, as a hobby, whatever it is. Like, don't look at all the other people doing it and think there's not space for you. If this is something that you want to do, if you have been called to do, in the sense of this is an interest for you, if this is something you have interest in, do it. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I just want to do all of the things that I feel I have been called to do. Again, let me make this a very selfish video. I just want to do the things that I have been called to do. And I don't want to let my son down in the next 10, 15 years. Who knows what will be like the big social media platform. But like I said, I've never been one to shy away from telling people my goals, right? And you say, when I say that, I also say it with wisdom, right? You, at the same time, you don't want to release too much information without it being confirmed first. But yeah, I just feel like social media is at its peak right now. I want to take advantage of it. I don't want to let my future self down. I don't want to let my son down, my family down. So if content creation is also something that you've wanted to do, pick up the camera and start filming. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.